So I am finally getting around to this topic in particular where Jamahal Hill confronted Alex Pereira at a performance institute, started mad dogging him, and Pereira even offered to put gloves on and go in the cage and settle it right there. Jamahal backs out with the whole, oh, we're not getting paid for this. Probably trying to cut an early promo, even though he's got a fight with Yuri Prochazka coming up. And you know what the sad part is Jamahal Hill. This is Jamahal Hill's worst year. Like, coming back to the UFC, it's kind of been a downward slope. Obviously, he relinquishes the title out of respect for the division when he got injured. And then he comes back to try to reclaim the title against Alex Pereira. He lodged such aggressive, trash-talking campaign on Alex Pereira that he got knocked out in the first round, and Pereira made him look super easy to deal with. Now this is not like the Paul Craig loss where he just talked equally as much trash, right? Where he goes up to Paul Craig and's mad dogging him all the way up to the octagon, and Paul Craig actually uses his jiu-jitsu to beat him. This is like Paul Craig's highlight. Where Paul Craig is at right now in his career, I know he's on a complete skid, but the Jamahal Hill fight was like one of his best moments. He dislocates Jamahal Hill's arm. Jamahal just picks himself up, gets back in the saddle, puts a winning streak together, and then eventually fights for the title against Glover Teixeira, who had every right to be fighting for that title because he was one of the guys at light heavyweight. You all know the lore. He captured the title, and then here we are right now. But it's sad now because that loss to Alex Pereira, like we've been saying for a while, he has not handled it well at all. It's how he's handling it if he's looking at Alex Pereira right now, I would advise him to look at the guy you're going to be fighting next in Yuri. Because this Yuri fight versus Jamahal Hill is going to have a lot of stake and a lot of what ifs. And I think I'm going to call it the light heavyweight, battle of accountability, because both guys are going to be making adjustments. I think so. Yuri Prochazka, after his fight to Alex Pereira, the second one, where he didn't even look like he had a puncher's chance compared to the first fight, where he actually had Alex Pereira in some very compromising moments, he said, you know what, I have to evolve. I have to change my game up if I'm going to want to get anywhere in the sport. Otherwise, I might as well not even be here. Yuri Prochazka was his biggest critic, in contrast to where Jamahal Hill's going, pointing the finger elsewhere, looking for every excuse under the sun, and still continuing to go downward. And this is the thing. I would actually stylistically say that Jamahal Hill has a really good shot of beating Yuri Prochazka. And I'm not saying this because Jamahal Hill has come off as completely cringe in the past while, but Yuri Prochazka, while he's been studying, not letting Alex Pereira cloud his mind right now, and just overall, evolving his game and learning from people. And honestly, I want to be honest and say this to Yuri Prochazka. If you're watching this, I hope one of those places you were learning at was teaching you to keep your hands up, because that fighting style of coming at people like this, it doesn't, it leaves you open for some headshots. Now, obviously, you could duck and weave all you want, but eventually someone's going to figure that out and capitalize on it, especially if you have nothing guarding your head when you're in that scenario. And you know what? We showed it. But at the end of the day, Yuri Prochazka is learning some stuff, while Jamahal Hill tends to be more busy coping and then trying to mad dog the guy who beat him in the first round and then backing away when offered the chance for some sparring rounds, if he really is that bothered by it. Because if Jamahal Hill is able to now, I have him now as an underdog because of this incident, because it's just that whole mental thing where I'm like seeing how both guys who have lost devastatingly to Alex Pereira are handling these losses. Yuri lost twice and he's taking accountability. Jamal's once, and it just kind of seems like he's making himself look worse. Now he's in a mode where if Yuri actually prepares and he beats Jamahal Hill is going to have even more stuff to deal with. Now, obviously, Jamahal Hill versus Yuri Prochazka is a fight that I want to see. I think it's been long overdue ever since Yuri made that Snow video saying he's coming after Jamahal Hill got the title. I was like, all right, it's on. You know, obviously, series of events. Alex Pereira joins the mix, moves up to light heavyweight, and then guess what? Now we're at where we're at. But Jamahal Hill now has to beat Yuri Prochazka if he want, and it's going to be a sink or swim moment. He has put himself in this area where he actually has to succeed in this fight if he wants to go for that title. And then you know what? If he goes for the title and fights Alex Pereira, do I think he beats Alex? I don't know. I mean, things could always happen, but I highly doubt it if we're being honest. But if he loses to Yuri Prochazka, it is over for Jamahal Hill. And that's the thing. It's no fault through anyone but his own. And he's talked his way into this corner. It's not that he's lost a few fights. It's that his way of handling this loss and coming off to the fans and putting himself in this big of a negative light has basically made him into this uphill battle. He was running at a plane, a solid plane of recovery. Now he's facing an uphill battle to get to the top. And the odds don't look like they are in his favor. But that's what I got to say. I've been leaving this topic out for a while just because I've been focusing on the current UFC, card that's been going on right now. I just got all out on that card right there. What's done is done. But now moving forward, unfortunately, this happened while I was covering it, so I wanted to get done with business first before I get to gossip. That's probably what I try to do. I try to really focus on the more logistical side of the sport and less on the gossip side. But that's also probably my biggest problem because a lot of other channels have covered this right off the bat. So you know what? I guess I brought that one on myself. But yeah, peace out. I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay safe.